The Andes, implacable, eternal. For centuries, they have stood silent sentinel over secrets whispered on the wind, secrets of empires built and shattered, secrets of a hunger that drove men to the edge of madness. November 16th, 1532, Cajamarca. Here, in the shadow of the mountains, the Inca Empire, a civilization that had touched the sky, met its brutal end. A handful of Spanish conquistadors, led by the iron fist of Francisco Pizarro, brought an entire people to their knees. 5,000 Inca warriors, unarmed and defenseless, Atahualpa, the god king, captured. The sun had set on the Inca world. But for Pizarro, the conquest was only the beginning. His eyes were fixed on a prize far greater than empire: gold, the legendary riches of the Inca, a treasure that would make kings weep with envy. They plundered temples, melted down sacred artifacts, stripped bare the very soul of a civilization. Mountains of gold, enough to fill the holds of 1,000 ships, flowed back to Spain. But even as they gorged themselves on Inca treasure, a new whisper began to circulate, a fever dream that gripped their hearts. A tale of a city forged not of stone, but of pure gold. A place where the very ruler was bathed in golden dust. A king they called El Dorado, the Golden One. This was no mere legend. They had seen the proof. The Muisca, masters of gold, and a sacred lake high in the Andes, Guatavita. Here they witnessed a ritual beyond imagining. A new chief, naked, coated in gold from head to toe, offering treasures to the depths. Before plunging into the icy water, a living god reborn. This is the story of El Dorado, the most famous treasure that never was.
The Andes Mountains, jagged and imposing, stand as silent witnesses to a pivotal moment in history, November 16th, 1532. On this fateful day, the seemingly invincible Inca Empire, a civilization that had flourished for centuries, crumbled before the might of a small band of Spanish conquistadors. Led by Francisco Pizarro, a man driven by an insatiable hunger for wealth and glory, the Spanish captured Atahualpa, the last Sapa Inca, the emperor believed by his people to be a living god. The ensuing massacre of 5,000 unarmed Incan warriors in Cajamarca was a chilling display of European military superiority and a brutal prelude to the systematic dismantling of an empire. Pizarro, however, was not merely a conqueror, he was a plunderer, his eyes fixated on the legendary riches of the Inca. Gold, in quantities that staggered the European imagination, adorned the temples and palaces of the Inca. As Pedro Cieza de León, a soldier and chronicler of the conquest, wrote in his Crónicas del Perú, "In one of these palaces, there was a garden in which the earth was lumps of fine gold, and it was cunningly planted with stalks of corn that were of gold, stalk, leaves, and ears." This vivid description highlights the sheer abundance of gold that fueled the Spanish frenzy. The systematic looting of the Inca Empire began. Temples were stripped bare, golden artifacts melted down into ingots, and the wealth of a civilization was shipped across the ocean to fill the coffers of the Spanish crown. But even as the Inca gold flowed into Europe, whispers of another, even greater source of riches began to circulate among the conquistadors. These were tales of a city, a kingdom, where gold was not merely a symbol of wealth, but the very fabric of existence. A place where the streets were paved with gold, the buildings constructed from it, and the ruler himself was covered in it. This was the legend of El Dorado, the Golden One. Driven by this intoxicating legend, the conquistadors ventured beyond the conquered Inca territories, pushing deeper into the uncharted heart of South America. They braved treacherous jungles teeming with unknown dangers, navigated the labyrinthine waterways of the Amazon, and scaled the dizzying heights of the Andes, their eyes constantly searching for any sign of the fabled Golden City. They were not merely explorers, They were treasure hunters, fueled by a potent cocktail of greed, ambition, and a near-religious belief in the existence of El Dorado. This belief was further reinforced when they encountered the Muisca, an indigenous civilization that thrived in the highlands of present-day Colombia. The Muisca, unlike the Inca, did not build vast empires or monumental cities. Their power resided not in territorial conquest, but in their mastery of gold work and their complex spiritual beliefs. Spanish chroniclers like Juan de Castellanos were astounded by the Muisca's skill with gold. In his epic poem Elegías de Varones Ilustres de Indias, Castellanos describes their artistry. They are great artificers of gold, and whatever they make is very perfect. They cast it, they make hollow figures, they solder it with great skill, and they make of it whatever they will and whatever is desired of them. The Muisca created intricate gold objects, tunjos, votive figures, jewelry, masks, and elaborate pectorals, often depicting animals, deities, and scenes from their mythology. But it was the Muisca's unique ritual at Lake Guatavita that truly cemented the connection between them and the legend of El Dorado. This sacred lake, nestled high in the Andes, was the stage for a ceremony of profound spiritual significance. Gonzalo Fernández de Oviedo y Valdés, in his Historia General y Natural de las Indias, provides a detailed, though perhaps embellished, account. The Indians say that in that lake is a great sum of gold and riches, and that the gold that the cacique, chief, offers is very much. He goes naked, covered only with a paste of fragrant resins, and over this the gold dust is applied from head to foot, as thick as salt is sprinkled on food, and thus arrayed he goes to make his sacrifice. The Spanish, upon hearing these accounts, were captivated. Here, they believed, was the origin of the El Dorado legend. The Golden Man was not a mythical king, but the Muisca leader participating in the Lake Guatavita ceremony. The lake itself, they reasoned, must be a vast repository of gold, accumulated over centuries of ritual offerings. As Juan Rodriguez Fraile, a later chronicler born in Bogotá, wrote in his work El Carnero, this is the ceremony that became the famous El Dorado, which has cost so many lives and fortunes. The conquistadors' logic, though flawed, was understandable. They saw a civilization that used gold in abundance, a ritual that involved casting gold into a lake, and a legend of a golden city. In their minds, these elements coalesced into a single compelling narrative. El Dorado was not a myth, but a hidden Muisca capital. The ensuing search for El Dorado became one of the most epic and ultimately tragic chapters in the history of the Spanish conquest. Expeditions, often led by ruthless and ambitious men, ventured into the unknown, driven by the tantalizing prospect of unimaginable riches. They found gold, yes, but never in the quantities they envisioned. They encountered indigenous resistance, succumbed to disease, and often turned on each other in their desperation. The legend of El Dorado, however, persisted. It evolved and adapted, taking on new forms and meanings. It became a metaphor for the insatiable human desire for wealth and the destructive power of greed. It also became a symbol of the unknown, the unexplored, and the enduring allure of the mythical. Even today, the name El Dorado evokes a sense of mystery and wonder, a reminder of a time when the world was still full of uncharted territories and the possibility of discovering something truly extraordinary. If you liked this adventure, you are going to love what's next. We're going deep into the lost Labyrinth of Egypt, rediscovered at the Hawara Pyramid Complex. Herodotus claimed it was more impressive than the pyramids, and we're going to find out why. We'll explore Flinders Petrie's findings, the Mataha Project's radar scans, and the ancient texts of Herodotus, Strabo, and Pliny the Elder. Was it a temple, a tomb, or something else entirely? What secrets does the megalithic construction and the quartzite sarcophagus hold? And could it be older than the pharaohs? Find out in our next video.
Imagine a structure so grand, so impossibly complex, that it was deemed one of the wonders of the ancient world, a place whispered about in hushed tones, a place of myth and legend, even in its own time. The historian Herodotus, a man who had witnessed the majestic pyramids of Giza in their full glory, a man who had traversed the known world, even he was humbled. He wrote that this edifice exceeded in splendor even the mighty pyramids. He called it the Labyrinth, a sprawling colossal maze of stone and shadow, said to contain thousands of chambers both above and below ground, a place where the unwary could wander for eternity, lost in its endless corridors. For centuries, it stood as a testament to the power and ingenuity of a forgotten age, a place of ritual, of worship perhaps, of secrets best left undisturbed. This was the Labyrinth of Egypt, and its true purpose remains one of history's greatest mysteries.
Everyone goes to the big Mayan sites, or they go to Teotihuacan and Mexico City because they're impressive. Whereas the Olmec sites, there's not much left. I've been to these sites several times now, all of them. We've been to pretty much every known Olmec site there is. But the Olmecs, really, they're characterized by the megalithic stone heads. Very unusual features that appear to be native Mexican, Native American.
The ancient Olmec civilization, often considered the mother culture of Mesoamerica, was a mystery hidden beneath the jungles of southern Mexico for centuries. The discovery of this mysterious civilization began in the 19th century, when European explorers and archaeologists started to uncover the remnants of a once great society that predated the Maya and the Aztecs by hundreds of years. The first significant discovery attributed to the Olmecs occurred in 1862, when a colossal stone head was found near the town of Tres Zapotes in the Mexican state of Veracruz. José Melgar Serrano, a Mexican archaeologist, was the first to document this find. At the time, the discovery of the colossal head was puzzling and inexplicable. Melgar was struck by the head's unusual features, which he described as having Ethiopian traits. This observation led to early speculations about the origins of the civilization responsible for the head, and some even suggested connections to Africa or Asia, long before the Olmecs were understood in their own right. The mysterious nature of the discovery was further compounded by the lack of context. The head, standing over 6 feet tall and weighing several tons, was unlike anything else found in the region. It wasn't until the early 20th century that further discoveries began to shed light on the civilization responsible for these colossal sculptures. In the 1920s and 1930s, archaeological investigations led by pioneers like Franz Blum and Matthew Stirling provided more substantial evidence of the Olmec civilization. Stirling, an American archaeologist, conducted extensive excavations in the Gulf Coast region, where he uncovered more colossal heads, as well as other monumental sculptures and artifacts. These findings were concentrated in 3 main sites: San Lorenzo, La Venta, and Tres Zapotes, which are now recognized as major Olmec centers. The size and scale of the structures discovered during these excavations were astonishing. The colossal stone heads, which are perhaps the most iconic artifacts of the Olmecs, range in height from 1.5 meters to over 3 meters and can weigh up to 40 tons. To put this into perspective, a single stone head can be as heavy as 10 African elephants combined. These sculptures were carved from basalt, a volcanic rock that was transported from quarries located over 60 miles away from the sites where the heads were found. The discovery of the Olmec civilization was shrouded in mystery from the beginning. The colossal heads, with their distinctive facial features and helmet-like headdresses, sparked intense curiosity and debate among scholars. Who were these people? What was the purpose of these massive sculptures? How did they transport such enormous stones without the use of the wheel or draft animals? One of the most interesting aspects of the Olmec heads is the precision and skill with which they were carved. Despite their immense size, the heads are remarkably detailed, with intricate facial expressions, realistic features, and a sense of individuality that suggests they may represent specific rulers or important figures in Olmec society. The helmets worn by the figures have led some to speculate that they might have been warriors, ball players, or even deities. The question of how the Olmecs transported these massive stones remains one of the great mysteries of Mesoamerican archaeology. The basalt used for the heads was quarried from the Tuxtla Mountains, located dozens of miles from the Olmec centers. Moving these stones would have required an incredible amount of labor and ingenuity. Some theories suggest that the Olmecs used a combination of rolling logs, sledges, and manpower to move the stones, while others propose that they may have used waterways to transport the stones by raft. However, the exact methods remain unknown, adding to the allure and mystery of the Olmec civilization. The age of the Olmec stone heads and other structures has been determined primarily through radiocarbon dating of the surrounding archaeological layers and the analysis of the stylistic features of the artifacts. The oldest known Olmec sites, such as San Lorenzo, date back to around 1200 BCE, with some structures possibly even older. The Laventa site, another major Olmec center, reached its peak around 900 to 400 BCE. This places the Olmecs as one of the earliest complex societies in Mesoamerica, predating the Maya by several centuries. To establish the age of the stone heads and other structures, archaeologists examined the stratigraphy of the sites where they were found. By analyzing the layers of earth and the artifacts contained within them, they were able to estimate the time periods during which these objects were created. Additionally, radiocarbon dating of organic materials found near the sculptures has provided more precise dates, confirming the Olmecs as an ancient civilization with roots deep in the pre-classic period of Mesoamerican history. One of the most intriguing theories about the Olmec civilization relates to their role as the progenitors of later Mesoamerican cultures. The Olmecs are often called the mother culture of Mesoamerica because they appear to have laid the foundations for many cultural and religious practices that were later adopted and adapted by the Maya, Aztecs, and other civilizations. This includes the development of the long count calendar, the concept of zero, and the Mesoamerican ball game, all of which have been linked to the Olmecs. A particularly interesting theory suggests that the Olmec civilization may have been highly stratified, with a powerful elite class that controlled large numbers of laborers. This elite would have been responsible for commissioning the colossal heads and other monumental works, using their power and influence to marshal the resources and manpower necessary for such endeavors. The heads, in this view, could have been portraits of these elite rulers, intended to immortalize their power and legacy. Another theory posits that the Olmec heads might have served a religious or ceremonial function. The Olmecs practiced a form of shamanism, and it is possible that the heads were created as offerings to the gods or as markers of sacred spaces. Some scholars have suggested that the heads were placed at the entrances to important ceremonial sites, serving as guardians or representations of the gods themselves. The decline of the Olmec civilization remains one of the most enduring mysteries in the study of ancient Mesoamerica. By around 400 BCE, the major Olmec centers of San Lorenzo and Laventa had been abandoned, and the once thriving civilization had all but disappeared. The reasons for this decline are still debated, with several theories offering potential explanations. One theory suggests that environmental changes played a significant role in the Olmecs' decline. Archaeological evidence indicates that the Olmec heartland experienced significant changes in climate and hydrology during the later part of their civilization. Rivers that once provided abundant water and fertile land may have changed course or dried up, leading to crop failures and shortages. This environmental stress could have caused social unrest and ultimately led to the collapse of Olmec society. Another theory points to internal conflict as a possible cause of the Olmec decline. As with many ancient civilizations, power struggles among the elite may have weakened the political structure, leading to the fragmentation of the society. The destruction of major Olmec sites, such as the defacement of stone monuments and the burning of ceremonial centers, suggests that there may have been a violent end to the Olmec civilization. There are also more speculative theories that tie the Olmec decline to external forces. Some suggest that the Olmecs were invaded by other groups, possibly from the highlands of Mexico, who overthrew the ruling class and dismantled their society. Others propose that the Olmecs were part of a larger network of civilizations that experienced a simultaneous decline, leading to a broader collapse across the region. Among the more fringe theories about the Olmecs is the idea that they were somehow connected to the lost civilization of Atlantis, or that they had contact with extraterrestrial beings. These theories are not supported by mainstream archaeology, but continue to capture the imagination of those fascinated by ancient mysteries. The Atlantis connection is rooted in the idea that the Olmecs were descendants of Atlantean survivors who fled to the Americas after the destruction of their homeland. Proponents of this theory point to the advanced nature of Olmec art and architecture, as well as the mysterious disappearance of the civilization as evidence of their Atlantean origins. However, there is no concrete evidence to support this idea, and it remains a speculative and largely discredited theory. The alien connection theory suggests that the Olmecs may have been visited by extraterrestrial beings who provided them with advanced knowledge and technology. This theory is often linked to the colossal stone heads, which some believe were inspired by or created with the help of aliens. The precise craftsmanship and the logistical challenges of moving such large stones have led some to speculate that the Olmecs could not have achieved these feats without outside assistance. Again, this theory lacks scientific evidence and is generally considered a modern myth rather than a serious historical hypothesis. The discovery of the Olmec civilization was a momentous event in the history of archaeology, revealing a complex and advanced society that laid the groundwork for much of Mesoamerican culture. The colossal stoneheads, monumental architecture, and sophisticated artistic traditions of the Olmecs continue to captivate scholars and the public alike. Despite the many unanswered questions and the enduring mysteries surrounding their origins, achievements, and decline, the Olmecs remain a fascinating chapter in the story of ancient civilizations. Theories about their connection to Atlantis or extraterrestrial beings, while intriguing, serve our imagination to pursue our world's history.
Have you ever imagined stumbling upon a city lost to time, hidden beneath the earth for centuries?
Large cities flourished in the Amazon. Enormous cities.
When you have written documents that have survived, if you can translate those documents, you can begin to get a fair sense of how history was unfolding. It's a very treacherous and dangerous place to be.
Can you just imagine what other mysteries lie in await of human discovery with all the untouched areas of the world?
Explorations and archaeological discoveries in jungle environments have significantly expanded our understanding of ancient civilizations. These lush, often formidable environments have hidden the remnants of societies from the prying eyes of modern civilization until relatively recently. But now, with newer technologies, we are able to look into these jungles without having to venture on foot. The lost city of the monkey god, also known as La Ciudad Blanca or the White City, has been shrouded in mystery and legend for centuries. Tucked away in the dense and nearly impassable jungles of the Mosquitia region in Honduras, this enigmatic city captured the imagination of explorers, historians, and archaeologists who dreamed of uncovering a forgotten civilization. It first came into the limelight with aerial photographs in 1939 suggesting its existence, but it was not until the use of LiDAR technology in 2012 that significant discoveries were made. LiDAR, which stands for Light Detection and Ranging, uses laser light to map the ground below dense forest canopies, revealing hidden structures like plazas, mounds, and an impressive pyramid, which confirmed the presence of a major pre-Columbian settlement. Further explorations on the ground uncovered stone sculptures with Maya-like iconography, intricate terraces likely used for agriculture, and large communal plazas, all suggesting a bustling ancient community. The architecture seen here, especially the pyramid, aligns with traditional Mesoamerican styles, indicating a complex society that once thrived in what is now a remote and difficult-to-access area. The city's location, deep within the Mosquitia's diverse yet hostile rainforests, shielded it from modern looters and remained a daunting challenge for archaeologists due to the harsh conditions. Local myths have added to the allure of La Ciudad Blanca, with tales suggesting the area is protected by supernatural forces and cursed, a narrative possibly rooted in the indigenous reverence for their spiritual and cultural heritage. This has given rise to various names for the city, including the City of the Monkey God, where legend has it that a giant simian deity resided. The comparison of this site to Machu Picchu, discovered by Hiram Bingham in 1911, highlights stark differences. While Machu Picchu's high Andean location and dry climate helped preserve its structures, La Ciudad Blanca faces the relentless forces of a wet jungle that rapidly degrades man-made constructions and is fraught with perilous wildlife and diseases, making explorations particularly risky. Despite these challenges, La Ciudad Blanca is as much an ecological treasure as it is an archaeological one. Positioned in a largely untouched jungle area, it plays a vital role in local biodiversity. The ongoing explorations are slowly unraveling the complexities of Mesoamerican cultures and their interconnectedness, providing valuable insights into how ancient civilizations managed to adapt and flourish in some of the most challenging environments on Earth. Each discovery at this site contributes essential pieces to our understanding of human history in the Americas, promising more revelations from this mystical city as research continues. Machu Picchu, often hailed as the lost city of the Incas, is a marvel of ancient engineering and design, first brought to global attention by historian Hiram Bingham in 1911. This well-preserved site, nestled between the Andean mountain peaks of Peru and above the Urubamba River Valley, offers not only breathtaking views but also a window into the sophisticated society of the Incas. The city's layout and the assembly of its buildings, large stone blocks cut and fitted together without mortar using a technique known as ashlar, reflect a high degree of architectural skill and understanding of seismic structural integrity, important in the earthquake-prone Andes. The urban design of Machu Picchu includes distinct residential, religious, and agricultural zones, optimally arranged to use the steep terrain to their advantage. Among its most significant structures are the Intihuatana stone, believed to have served as an astronomical clock or calendar, the Temple of the Sun, whose circular construction is aligned with the solstices, and the Room of the Three Windows, which holds cosmological importance and is positioned to catch the first rays of morning light. Thought to have been built in the 15th century as a retreat for Inca Emperor Pachacuti, Machu Picchu resembles more a royal estate than a city. It was a place for nobles, priests, and servants, with over 150 buildings from baths and houses to temples and sanctuaries, serving a variety of residential and ceremonial purposes. Its secluded location high above the Sacred Valley also kept it hidden from the Spanish conquistadors, preserving its mysteries until the early 20th century. The surrounding area of Machu Picchu is as ecologically diverse as it is visually stunning. Situated on the eastern slopes of the Andes and bordering the Amazon rainforest, it is home to a myriad of flora and fauna, some of which are endemic to the region. This biodiversity adds to the site's mystical allure and historical intrigue. Today, as a UNESCO World Heritage Site and one of the new 7 wonders of the world, Machu Picchu draws hundreds of thousands of visitors annually. However, this popularity comes at a cost. The site faces significant preservation challenges due to the heavy foot traffic, prompting efforts to limit the number of visitors each day to protect its structural integrity and historical significance for future generations to appreciate and study. Moving on deep into the jungle, El Mirador, nestled in the Maya Biosphere Reserve in Guatemala, was rediscovered in 1926 and has been a goldmine of information on the pre-classic Maya civilization ever since. Flourishing from the 6th century BC to the 1st century AD, this ancient city's monumental architecture rivals even those from later Maya periods, offering a deep dive into the sophistication of early Maya engineers and architects. The city is perhaps best known for La Danta Temple, one of the largest pyramids in the world by volume. This massive structure stands about 70 meters tall and covers nearly 7 acres at its base. Its size and the effort required to build it are a testament to the advanced organizational skills of the Maya. Constructing La Danta involved quarrying and transporting enormous quantities of stone and earth, demanding a sophisticated understanding of engineering and logistics. The temple likely served as a central hub for rituals and community gatherings, playing a vital role in the religious and ceremonial life of El Mirador. Another significant structure, El Tigre, stands nearly 55 meters high and serves as a symbol of Maya religious and political power. Positioned strategically within the city, it likely hosted various communal and ceremonial activities, possibly even aligning with astronomical events. The Triadic Pyramids, unique to El Mirador and similar pre-classic cities, feature a large central pyramid flanked by 2 smaller ones, all on a single platform. This configuration might have represented a sacred trio of Maya deities and was crucial for the city's spiritual life. El Mirador's urban planning was also remarkably sophisticated, with an intricate network of causeways known as sac bays, linking major city structures. These are among the earliest known roads in the Americas and highlight the city's advanced urban planning capabilities. Large plazas were central to public life, hosting gatherings and ceremonies, and the city's extensive water management systems, including reservoirs and canals, were essential for sustaining its large population. Comparing El Mirador's architecture to other ancient wonders, such as the Egyptian Pyramid of Khufu at Giza, offers some perspective on their monumental scale. Although the Great Pyramid is taller, Ladanta's base covers a larger area, reflecting different architectural focuses and social uses between these two civilizations. While the Maya utilized horizontal layers of stone and packed earth, the Egyptians built with large limestone blocks, each method showcasing the unique engineering insights and materials preferred by these cultures. Another ancient discovery would be Tikal in Guatemala. It's not just another ancient city, it's a beacon that illuminates the rich tapestry of the ancient Maya civilization. Discovered for the Western world by Ambrosio Tut in 1848, and now part of the Tikal National Park, a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 1979, this sprawling archaeological site has been pivotal in understanding the complexities of Maya society. Its grand temples and palaces echo the architectural brilliance and urban planning acumen of a civilization that knew how to mold its environment to its needs. The city itself is a marvel of design, featuring some of the tallest temples ever erected by the Maya, set against a backdrop of dense Central American jungle. These structures are linked by an extensive network of raised stone pathways or causeways, which facilitated essential aspects of city life such as trade, military movements, and public communication. One of the standout structures is Temple 4, which soars about 70 meters into the sky, making it one of the tallest pre-Columbian buildings in the Americas. From its peak, one could easily survey the sprawling cityscape and the encroaching jungle beyond. At the city's core lies the Great Plaza, flanked by temples Lapan and the Tu, and surrounded by the north and central acropolises. This plaza was the ceremonial heart of Tikal, pulsating with the energy of myriad public gatherings and rituals. Temple Waz, known as the Temple of the Great Jaguar, was built as a monumental tomb for King Jasar Chankawil, one of Tikal's most revered rulers. Directly across from it stands Temple 2, or the Temple of the Masks, believed to have been erected by the king's wife to honor his legacy, suggesting intriguing aspects of gender and power within royal circles. When compared to Teotihuacan in Mexico, with its rigid urban grid and massive pyramids like the Pyramids of the Sun and the Moon, Tikal presents a contrasting image. Its city plan harmoniously blends into its jungle environment, and its temples reach towards the sky as if to touch the divine. This difference in architectural philosophy highlights the diversity in Mesoamerican urban planning and religious expression. Preserving such a magnificent site is no small feat. Tikal's remote location and humid tropical climate pose continuous threats from vegetation overgrowth and structural decay, challenging conservationists who must tread the fine line between maintaining archaeological integrity and supporting the natural ecosystem that has reclaimed these ruins. Through ongoing excavation and research, it remains a crucial site for archaeologists and historians eager to delve deeper into the pre-Columbian past of the Americas, offering new stories and insights that gradually piece together the complex mosaic of human history in this lush region.
I had been in the Maya area quite a lot ever since I was a sophomore at Harvard. And when I walked through Angkor, I was just flabbergasted at how similar Angkor was to a classic Maya site. There are some amazing parallels between these two cultures. By comparing civilizations in the past, you could illuminate the whole story of how human cultures came about to be.
The original pyramids, finally discovered by scientists deep in the Amazon jungle, have sparked a renewed fascination with ancient civilizations. Among these hidden wonders, Palenque and Koh Ker stand out as monumental testaments to the architectural prowess of the Maya and Khmer Empires. These two sites, though separated by thousands of miles, offer remarkable insights into the distinct yet equally captivating legacies of their builders. Palenque, also known as La Camha in the ancient Maya language meaning big water, was a significant Maya city-state that flourished during the Classic period, roughly between 226 BC and 799 AD. Renowned for its sophisticated and elegant architecture, sculpture, roof combs, and bas-relief carvings, Palenque stands out among Maya sites. Unlike other Maya cities, Palenque exhibits a unique architectural style with an emphasis on ornate and finely detailed stucco carvings. The most iconic structure at Palenque is the Temple of the Inscriptions, the largest and most important stepped pyramid in the city. Constructed as a funerary monument for Kinich Janab Pakal, known as Pakal the Great. The Temple of the Inscriptions is named for the 3 large hieroglyphic panels that adorn its interior. These inscriptions are among the longest-known Maya texts, providing detailed accounts of the city's dynastic history, religious rituals, and the life and reign of Pakal the Great. The hieroglyphs offer invaluable insights into Maya writing and language, as well as the socio-political structure of the time. The temple is particularly remarkable for its funerary complex. Pakal the Great's sarcophagus lies deep within the pyramid, accessed by a hidden staircase descending from the temple's upper levels. Discovered in 1952 by Mexican archaeologist Alberto Ruz Luillier, the tomb chamber contains Pakal's intricately carved jade funerary mask and other precious artifacts. The sarcophagus lid is adorned with a detailed bas-relief depicting Pakal's journey to the afterlife, a masterpiece of Maya art. Architecturally, the pyramid consists of 9 levels, symbolizing the 9 levels of the Maya underworld, Xibalba. The temple at the summit is a series of vaulted galleries with elaborate stucco decorations, showcasing the Mayas' advanced understanding of structural engineering and aesthetic principles. The construction of such a monument reflects the centralized power and religious significance attributed to Pakal and his lineage. Although Palenque was known to the local inhabitants, European explorers began to document the site in the 18th century. Significant documentation began in the 19th century, with explorers such as John Lloyd Stevens and Frederick Catherwood bringing Palenque to the world's attention. Their detailed accounts and illustrations sparked widespread interest in Maya civilization. The most significant discovery at Palenque came in 1952 when Alberto Ruz Luillier uncovered the tomb of Pakal the Great within the Temple of the Inscriptions. This discovery was monumental as it was one of the first intact royal tombs found in the Maya region. The find provided unprecedented insights into Maya burial practices, art, and royal iconography. Ongoing archaeological work at Palenque continues to reveal new information about the city's history, architecture, and the daily lives of its inhabitants. Advanced technologies such as LiDAR have uncovered previously hidden structures and features beneath the jungle canopy, further expanding our understanding of this ancient city. One intriguing theory surrounding Pakal's tomb is the interpretation of the sarcophagus lid. The lid's intricate bas-relief carving shows Pakal seemingly descending into the underworld, but some researchers, notably Erich von Däniken, have controversially suggested it depicts an astronaut in a spaceship, proposing ancient alien influences. Palenque and Koh Ker, though separated by geography, offer fascinating insights into the architectural and artistic achievements of their respective civilizations. Palenque was a major city-state in the Maya civilization, thriving in Mesoamerica, while Koh Ker served as a temporary capital of the Khmer Empire in Southeast Asia. Both civilizations are renowned for their distinct architectural styles and cultural developments, each influenced by their unique religious and societal contexts. At Palenque, the Temple of the Inscriptions stands as a testament to the Mayas' focus on funerary monuments and dynastic history. This stepped pyramid is adorned with intricate hieroglyphic inscriptions and contains a tomb complex dedicated to Pakal the Great. The detailed carvings and inscriptions provide a wealth of information about Maya rulers and their religious beliefs. In contrast, Koh Ker's Prasat Tom pyramid features a striking 7-tiered design adorned with Hindu mythological sculptures. This design showcases the Khmer Empire's integration of religious symbolism into their monumental architecture, reflecting their profound connection to Hindu cosmology. Both Palenque and Koh Ker were reclaimed by the jungle after being abandoned and were rediscovered by explorers in the 19th century. Palenque has benefited from extensive study and preservation efforts, with ongoing archaeological work continuously revealing new aspects of Maya civilization. The preservation of Palenque has allowed for a deeper understanding of its historical and cultural significance. Koh Ker, while also studied, has faced significant challenges with looting and preservation. These challenges highlight the ongoing need for conservation efforts to protect and restore the site, ensuring that its historical and cultural treasures are safeguarded for future generations. Koh Ker, located in Preah Vihear province, Cambodia, served as the capital of the Khmer Empire for a brief period during the reign of King Jayavarman IV from 928 to 944 AD. This site, hidden deep within the Cambodian jungle, is home to a vast array of temples and structures, showcasing a distinct architectural style that sets it apart from the more famous Angkor Wat complex. Despite its relatively short-lived prominence, Koh Ker left behind a remarkable legacy of monumental architecture. The most prominent structure at Koh Ker is Prasat Thom, a seven-tiered step pyramid that rises dramatically from the surrounding jungle, standing about 36 meters high. This pyramid's unique construction and monumental scale reflect Jayavarman IV's ambitious building program and his desire to establish a new religious and political center. Unlike typical Khmer temples, which usually feature a central sanctuary atop a single elevated platform, Prasat Thom's 7 tiers culminate in a small sanctuary at the summit. Koh Ker is also known for its numerous intricately carved sculptures and reliefs depicting Hindu deities and mythological scenes. One of the most famous sculptures from the site is a colossal Garuda, a mythical bird-like creature standing over 4 meters tall. These artworks demonstrate the Khmer Empire's mastery of stone carving and their rich mythological tradition. Additionally, the site features an extensive water management system, including large reservoirs and canals, indicating advanced hydraulic engineering. These features highlight the importance of water in Khmer cosmology and their sophisticated understanding of water control and distribution. Koh Ker was largely abandoned and reclaimed by the jungle until its rediscovery in the late 19th century. French explorer and naturalist Henri Mouhot, known for his rediscovery of Angkor Wat, documented Koh Ker during his travels. His accounts helped bring the site to the attention of the wider world. Systematic archaeological investigations began in the 20th century, with significant efforts by French archaeologists. However, the site remains partially unexplored due to its remote location and dense jungle. Ongoing excavations continue to uncover new structures and artifacts, providing a deeper understanding of Koh Ker's history and significance. The site has faced challenges with looting, particularly during periods of political instability. Efforts are ongoing to preserve and restore Koh Ker, with many artifacts having been repatriated and conservation projects underway. International collaboration has been crucial in protecting and studying this important archaeological site. King Jayavarman IV's reign marked a departure from the established capital at Angkor, with Koh Ker serving as a testament to his ambition and power. The city's construction in a relatively short period reflects significant organizational and logistical capabilities. Jayavarman IV's decision to relocate the capital may have been influenced by strategic, political, or personal motivations, and his architectural legacy at Koh Ker remains a subject of scholarly interest. Koh Ker's location in the dense jungle may have been strategic, providing resources and a defensible position. The site's extensive network of temples and reservoirs suggests it was a major religious and economic center during its brief prominence. The choice of location also highlights the Khmer Empire's ability to adapt and thrive in diverse environments.
The Amazon basin is 7 million square kilometers in area. And within it, 5.5 million square kilometers remains almost entirely unstudied by archaeologists. We've done world archaeology, but we've just ignored the Amazon. What we find in the Amazon are thousands of henges that are now beginning to emerge from the cleared area of the jungle, and others that have been identified for the first time with LiDAR.
Discoveries of ancient civilizations in the Amazon jungle have unveiled a complex and sophisticated history that challenges previous assumptions about the region. These discoveries, made through a combination of aerial surveys, satellite imagery, and ground expeditions, reveal the existence of large, well-planned urban settlements, extensive road networks, and advanced agricultural techniques. suggesting a much higher level of social organization and environmental management than previously thought. The Kuhikugu complex in the Upper Xingu region of the Brazilian Amazon offers an incredible glimpse into the advanced urban planning and societal organization of pre-Columbian civilizations, long before European contact. Nestled in the remote Amazon basin in present-day Mato Grosso, Brazil, this area is a treasure trove of biodiversity. The dense rainforests and network of rivers likely played a key role in the development and sustenance of this complex society. Covering about 50 square kilometers, the Kuhikugu complex is home to over 20 settlements. These aren't just randomly placed, they're strategically positioned to make the most of the region's natural resources. What's fascinating is how these settlements are connected. Imagine a series of straight roads, some stretching for several kilometers, laid out with such precision that they often align with the cardinal directions. This not only facilitated travel, but also shows a high level of planning and coordination. Then there's the canal system, an impressive display of hydraulic engineering, likely used for everything from transportation to water management, and maybe even fish farming. The variety of structures within the complex is equally remarkable. From large public buildings and ceremonial spaces to individual homes, the architecture reflects a hierarchy in building techniques, hinting at different social or functional roles within the society. And speaking of society, estimates suggest that at its peak, Kuhikugu could have supported a whopping 30,000 to 50,000 people. This is deduced from the sheer number of residential structures and the expanse of agricultural land.
Along the Amazon, he reported seeing incredible cities, advanced arts and crafts, millions of people, a thriving culture.
The rediscovery of the Kuhikugu complex in the Amazon is a fascinating story that blends modern technology with traditional archaeology. Initially, this hidden gem was revealed through aerial surveys and satellite images. Imagine flying over the dense Amazon rainforest and suddenly spotting the outlines of an ancient civilization. Then, archaeologists like Michael Heckenberger and his team took over, conducting extensive ground excavations. They employed advanced techniques like LiDAR, which is like X-ray vision for archaeologists, to see through the forest canopy and map the area accurately. Now let's talk about how old this place is. Using carbon dating, a method to tell the age of artifacts and soil, scientists figured out that people lived in the Kuhikugu complex for several centuries, dating back to as early as 800 AD. They found all sorts of things like pottery, stone tools, and ornaments, giving us a glimpse into the daily life and creativity of the people who lived there. Here's the kicker. Before finding Kuhikugu, many thought the Amazon was mostly an untouched wilderness before Europeans arrived. But this discovery turned that idea on its head, showing that the area was home to a large and complex society. It's like finding a hidden chapter of history in your backyard. This place shows us that humans had a big impact on the Amazon, way earlier than we thought. They even made their own super fertile soil called terra preta, which is still rich and productive today. What's really cool about Kuhikugu is how it shows that the people there knew how to live sustainably. They had advanced farming practices, managed water well, and lived in harmony with their environment. It's like they were eco-friendly before it was trendy. This discovery also made us rethink the role of indigenous societies in the Amazon. It turns out they knew a lot about how to manage the land and shape the landscape. It's a reminder of how important it is to value and learn from indigenous knowledge. And lastly, the biodiversity in the Amazon today might partly be thanks to these ancient civilizations. The variety of plants near these archaeological sites is way more than in other areas of the forest.
The Amazon is basically a garden. The Amazon is a man-made rainforest. There are certain trees like Brazil nut trees or the ice cream bean tree, which are food crops, which are very, very valuable.
Marajo Island at the Amazon River's mouth is like a time capsule that takes us back to the Marajoara culture, a sophisticated civilization from around 800 to 1400 CE. Imagine an island almost as big as Switzerland, right at the meeting point of a river and the ocean. This place, with its mix of forests, savannas, and wetlands, is not just big but also incredibly diverse. It's the perfect backdrop for the Marajoara people to thrive, providing everything from food to resources for their unique lifestyle. Now, the Marajoara culture is something special. They were known for their artistic flair, especially their ceramics. Picture pots and plates with intricate designs, complex patterns, and images of animals and people. They weren't just making these for fun. Their ceramics were a big part of their culture and beliefs, like the large, beautifully decorated urns they used for burials. These suggest they had quite complex ideas about life, death, and everything in between, but it's not just their art that's fascinating. They built these massive earthen mounds, some over 10 meters high. Think about that. That's like stacking 3 buses on top of each other. These mounds were probably used for everything from homes to ceremonial sites, and might have even protected them from the frequent floods. This shows they were pretty savvy engineers and architects, adapting to their challenging environment in style. The way they organized their society was also quite something. It seems there was a clear hierarchy, with some people leading the way in managing resources and religious practices. And they had different roles for men and women, which we can figure out from the things they left behind. Now let's talk about their farming skills. They were ahead of their time, creating raised fields to keep their crops safe from flooding. Their diet was a mix of what they grew, along with fish and game from the surrounding area. And they were smart about managing water with their canals and ditches, which was pretty crucial in a place that floods a lot. Santarem, right where the Tapajos meets the Amazon River, is a fascinating place, especially when you think about its history. This spot was like the grand central station of its time, bustling with trade and culture. Picture boats coming in and out, carrying all sorts of goods and ideas from different parts of South America. The area around Santarem was rich in resources, which helped the settlement thrive. Now, the people of Santarem were known for their incredible pottery. We're talking about really intricate designs here, geometric patterns, pictures of people and animals, and even mythical beings. The level of detail in these pots and plates is just mind-blowing. And it wasn't just about looking good. These designs tell us a lot about their culture and beliefs. The way they made this pottery was pretty advanced too. They had techniques for molding, firing, and painting that were way ahead of their time. The variety of colors and the way they used glazes show they really knew their stuff when it came to chemistry and kiln construction. It's like they were the master chefs of pottery, knowing exactly how to cook up the perfect piece. Santarem was more than just a local market. It was a cultural hub. The different styles and motifs in the pottery suggest they were mixing it up with all sorts of cultures. And it wasn't just goods they were trading. They were probably swapping stories, ideas, and practices too. The town itself, from what we can tell from the ruins, was pretty well organized. They had different areas for living, working, and probably for community gatherings or ceremonies. It's like they had their own little urban planning going on. But back to the pottery, it's not just about how it was made, but what it tells us about the people of Santarem. It gives us a peek into their daily lives, what they valued, and how they connected with others. The geoglyphs in the Amazon, especially in the Brazilian states of Acre and Rondônia, are like a secret world that's been hidden under the dense forest canopy for centuries. It wasn't until the late 20th and early 21st centuries, mostly because of deforestation, that these incredible earthworks started to come to light, thanks to technology like satellite imagery and LiDAR, which is basically like having X-ray vision from space. Over 450 of these geoglyphs have been mapped. This discovery has completely changed our view of how people lived in the Amazon before Columbus. Now, these aren't just a few lines in the dirt. We're talking about huge designs that can stretch over a kilometer and cover several square kilometers. They come in all sorts of shapes: circles, squares, rectangles, and more intricate forms. Some even have patterns like radial spokes, which add to their complexity. The sheer size of these geoglyphs hints at a society that was really well organized and could bring together a lot of people to create these massive works. But how did they make them? Well, they would remove the top layer of soil and vegetation, revealing the lighter-colored earth underneath. This contrast made the design stand out when viewed from above. It seems like they used a variety of tools made from materials like stone, bone, and wood. The level of precision in these geoglyphs shows they were not only skilled, but also had serious planning chops. Some of these geoglyphs line up with astronomical events, like the solstices and equinoxes. This suggests they might have been used for tracking celestial events or for ceremonial or religious purposes. Imagine large groups of people gathering at these geoglyphs for festivals or rituals. It must have been quite a sight. But here's the really cool part. These geoglyphs tell us that the societies in the Amazon before Europeans arrived were much more complex than we thought. They could modify their environment on a large scale and had a social structure where leaders could organize big projects. And despite the size of these geoglyphs, they were made in a way that respected and integrated with the surrounding landscape. So discovering these geoglyphs has really turned our understanding of the Amazon's history on its head. It's no longer seen as just a vast, untouched wilderness, but as a place where complex, organized societies lived and actively shaped their world. It's a reminder of how much history there is still to uncover and how much we can learn from it. The dense, sprawling rainforests of the Amazon basin have long been viewed as pristine wildernesses, largely untouched by human hands. But as we delve deeper into its recesses, an entirely different picture begins to emerge. Most of our earlier perceptions of the Amazon were informed by explorers' tales and early aerial surveys, which gave us a vision of an impenetrable forest and an inhospitable land. The narrative held that this vast expanse was a green desert, with sporadic indigenous tribes living in harmony with nature, barely altering their surroundings. But with advancing technology and more in-depth archaeological expeditions, this story is undergoing a major rewrite. Ancient geoglyphs, vast earthworks, stretching over vast distances comparable in size and complexity to the famous Nazca lines in Peru, have been discovered. These intricate geometric designs, hidden for centuries beneath thick foliage, give testimony to the organized societies that once thrived here. They showcase a level of complexity and artistic expression that challenges earlier beliefs. Further evidence of the Amazon's historic human footprint comes from the blackened, fertile patches of earth known as terra preta. These aren't just random fertile grounds, they're ancient compost heaps, enriched with organic matter, and possibly remnants of ancient pottery. The scope and spread of terra preta suggests systematic agricultural practices and a potentially large population catering to their dietary needs. And then there's the discovery of ancient, now abandoned villages in the very heart of the rainforest. Built with defined structures, these settlements disrupt the long-held belief that large-scale communities never existed in the Amazon due to the rainforest's harsh living conditions. Artifacts recovered from these sites, ranging from tools to ornamental objects, show us glimpses of thriving cultures, sophisticated crafts, and bustling trade routes. All these findings have a profound implication. The Amazon rainforest, as we know it today, might be partly a human-made environment. It's believed that ancient Amazonians cultivated specific tree species for food and timber, subtly shaping the ecosystem around them over generations. The common thread binding these discoveries is the realization that our beliefs about the Amazon have been clouded by the limitations of early exploration tools and perhaps a bit of colonial-era condescension. As new chapters of the Amazon's history continue to unfold, they remind us that civilizations, no matter where they spring up, are capable of marvelous feats, challenging the environment and leaving behind legacies that last millennia. Dive into any story of discovery, and you'll find that the most unexpected revelations often lie in places overlooked or deemed unimportant. The Amazon basin, a vast stretch of dense rainforest, was largely considered an untouched wilderness, a pristine testament to nature's majesty. But beneath its sprawling canopy and amidst its dense undergrowth, whispers of a bygone era started to emerge. This immense jungle, often described as the lungs of the earth, was for centuries thought to be a green desert when it came to human habitation. The thick foliage, challenging terrain, and vast biodiversity seemed to suggest that only small, isolated tribes could have ever called it home. But as the 21st century unfolded and technology advanced, this perception began to shift dramatically. LiDAR, a remote sensing method that uses light in the form of a pulsed laser, started revealing traces of ancient habitation below the forest canopy. When flown over the Amazon, LiDAR provided researchers with clear, detailed images of the ground, even through dense vegetation. It was like having X-ray vision, revealing details hidden for millennia. What it unveiled was nothing short of astonishing. A tapestry of ancient civilizations sprawled across hundreds of thousands of square miles. These weren't just random or isolated structures, these were sophisticated layouts with ceremonial centers, plazas, and intricate infrastructure. Large geometric earthworks, known as geoglyphs, stretched across vast distances, each meticulously crafted, each telling a tale of the people who constructed them. But the discoveries didn't end with mere structures. Excavations at these sites began to unearth pottery, tools, and ornaments, each intricately designed, showcasing the aesthetic values and craftsmanship of their creators. These artifacts hinted at vibrant cultures, thriving societies, and bustling trade networks. One might wonder, how did these vast settlements remain hidden for so long? The thick forest canopy, rapid overgrowth, and the natural processes of decay in the humid rainforest environment contributed to their concealment. Over time, nature had reclaimed these areas, making them part of the forest floor and hiding their secrets from the world. The sheer scale of these revelations has made the Amazon basin one of the most exciting frontiers for archaeological exploration today. Every expedition, every scan, and every dig promises new insights, unveiling chapters of a history that once thrived, prospered, and then vanished into the green abyss, waiting to be rediscovered. The vastness of the Amazon basin is a challenge to comprehend. Stretched over 9 countries, it spans approximately 7 million square kilometers and houses the world's largest river by volume. To put it into perspective, it's almost twice the size of India, or roughly equivalent to the 48 contiguous states of the USA. This sheer expanse has often led to a perception that such a large area was inhospitable for large-scale human habitation, especially considering the challenges the region presents: dense forests, vast waterways, and a rich diversity of fauna that includes both spectacular wonders and threats to human life. Yet the artifacts and settlements emerging from the jungle are challenging this perception, showing that not only did civilizations inhabit the Amazon, but they did so at a scale previously unimagined. The findings suggest that up to 10 million people may have once lived in the Amazon, a number comparable to some of the most populated areas in the ancient world. The geoglyphs, for instance, which were found scattered across the Amazon in their thousands, weren't just small, isolated designs. Some were as large as 13 square kilometers, a size that could easily encompass modern-day cities. The intricate network of villages, roads, and ceremonial centers points towards a level of organization that is nothing short of urban planning. Additionally, the agricultural prowess of these ancient inhabitants was astounding. Dark, fertile soils called terra preta, or black earth, were artificially created by the ancient Amazonians, enabling them to cultivate crops on a massive scale. This not only fed large populations, but also played a role in trade and commerce, giving rise to intricate networks across the region. The technological and social achievements of the people in the Amazon have parallels with ancient megacities from other parts of the world. However, their urban centers, unlike stone cities, were made largely from organic materials, which means they decayed and were reclaimed by nature over time. This might explain why their achievements remained hidden for so long. A significant puzzle that lingers is, how were such sprawling societies governed, organized, and maintained in an environment so dense and challenging? While the exact nature of their governance and societal structures remains elusive, the very presence of such grandeur and organization on such a large scale challenges many preconceived notions. In essence, the Amazon, once seen as a vast, uninhabited green sea, is slowly revealing itself as a cradle of civilization, on a scale few ever imagined. The image of the Amazon basin as an untouched Eden, pristine and wild, is a modern construction. The findings on the ancient Amazon basin civilizations invite us to re-evaluate this image, recognizing the region not just as a natural wonder, but also as a testament to human ingenuity and adaptability. One of the most striking revelations is how these ancient societies may have practiced sustainable agriculture. Instead of depleting the soil, they enhanced it. The creation of terra preta, a rich, fertile soil, shows a sophisticated understanding of agronomy. By adding charcoal, bone, and organic matter to the otherwise poor rainforest soil, they managed to create a substrate that remained fertile for generations. The fact that this soil is still rich in nutrients today, hundreds or even thousands of years later, speaks volumes about their sustainable practices. Moreover, there's evidence suggesting these communities practiced agroforestry, combining agriculture and forestry to create a mutually beneficial environment. This allowed them to cultivate a diverse array of crops, ensuring a balanced diet and reducing the risk of crop failures. The revelations of large-scale, sustainable societies in the Amazon basin are forcing historians and archaeologists to rethink the historical narrative of the Americas. It's becoming clear that these civilizations had a deep understanding of their environment and knew how to manipulate it in ways that were both advanced and sustainable. Beyond merely recognizing their existence, Acknowledging the achievements of these ancient Amazonian civilizations challenges the often Eurocentric view of history, where advancements are largely attributed to the known Old World civilizations. Here, in what was thought to be the untouched wilderness, were societies that could rival the complexity and sophistication of their counterparts elsewhere. These discoveries also bring into the limelight the question of how and why such advanced civilizations collapsed. While there's no single answer, the theories range from climate changes to external invasions or even internal social upheavals. One thing, however, is for certain: the shadows of the past often hold mirrors to the present, and there's much we can learn about sustainability, resilience, and culture from the ancient denizens of the Amazon.